Welcome in. We are watching currently Texas Abilene Christian, the end of this tape.
Yes.
We're watching this. We got the volume in our headphones. Can we get the volume off so we can talk to each other here? So we're gonna watch this. We're gonna let this unfold in front of us. We definitely are monitoring this situation, but we also wanted to talk about all the stuff going on today before everybody goes to bed. Because I have a feeling most people at home, they're like, I'm turning my TV off the second this thing ends. So
Absolutely, and we just want to welcome everybody in Titus and Tate Live. We appreciate everyone on the YouTube channel. We appreciate everyone subscribing. And
yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, leave comments, leave questions, leave whatever. We'll address them at the end of the show. We're gonna hit, throughout the show actually. And what do you got?
I was gonna say the first thing I have to address. There's a lot of questions about the blue bloods and the new bloods. And to give a little update, we have blue bloods in college basketball. You know them, the usual suspects. Your North Carolinas. Your Kentuckys, your Dukes, your Kansas, your UCLA.
You're putting UCLA in there.
I am,
Right.
and that's why.
They earned it tonight.
They bump up maybe 2 spots for Mick Cronin. 2 wins already in the tournaments. That's good for the Blue Bloods. And the New Bloods are teams like Oklahoma State, maybe a Gonzaga, and Gonzaga looked great. So more for the Blue Bloods. We'll get them up.
Three big stories today. Yesterday, very explosive day, as we know.
Yes.
Both of our teams went down. It is a day, as I've said many
times over. It was a day of
over.
upsets.
A day that will live in infamy on this show. We will look back on it and it'll hurt. It'll always hurt, Tate. But that was yesterday. The fun thing, we sat down to do the show tonight, and I said, I looked at you. I was like, 2 full days of action has led to a point where even the Colorado game, the Colorado Georgetown game this morning, that feels like 3 years
Eons ago.
So in a way, like everything that happened yesterday feels so far removed from my brain. Like it doesn't even. I'm not mad. I'm still not mad about it.
You're over it.
That was yesterday.
We've gotten past it.
So that was yesterday. Very explosive. A ton of upsets galore. Purdue goes down. No one even cared because Ohio State lost and the way that Ohio State lost. Today, not quite as much. Not quite as much action. Abilene is doing all they can right now to make that interesting. But there were 3 big stories to me. First of all is the VCU Oregon situation, and that's I don't know what else to call it, but the VCU situation.
It's a situation.
That VCU has forfeited. They don't forfeit. Is it technically a forfeit? A no contest?
I think they opted out. Yeah, I think that's the terminology.
They involuntarily opted out.
Yes,
is what happened.
Yes.
VCU has too many positive cases for to continue playing. It's a no contest. Oregon marches on to the second round, and I'm a little bit in disbelief. I knew how the system worked. I saw it work in the conference tournaments. We saw Kansas, we saw Duke, we saw Virginia all have to bow out of their conference tournaments. I still just thought like I don't see how that can happen in the NCAA tournament, that you can spend your entire season leading up to this point. And to be fair, all the NCAA mouthpieces that were showing up on TV tonight, not Andy Katz, not
we love you, Andy.
We love Andy.
Yep.
I'm saying the rest of them would go on television. They're like, now remember, everybody signed up for this. And it's like, yeah, it still sucks. It's still stupid. They signed up for it because what was the alternative? Not playing the tournament? It's like when you sign you're downloading an app and you have a 10 billion page
disclaimer
of terms and conditions. It's like, well, I want to play Candy Crush, so I guess I have to check this. Like, I don't actually want to read all this. And that's what they did. And then you didn't actually think this was going to be a thing. And now it's a thing. And now, my mind, because I've been trained over the last year or whatever to be a cynic, to be pessimistic, and certainly that came to fruition yesterday. My mind goes to the Final Four. My mind goes to the national championship game. And someone tests positive the night before. I asked you, if it's Saturday morning of a national championship, we have 2 games lined up. Say it's Gonzaga and Michigan, just 1 seeds. Gonzaga, Michigan, Baylor, Illinois. That's on the docket. It's all come to this. And then word breaks that like Baylor has like 7 cases and Baylor can't play. You're telling me that on Saturday night,
I'm not going to wood everywhere.
Of the Final Four,
I'm just not going to wood everywhere.
When all of this
is made up. All of this is made up.
All of the big donors, the corporate people, because that's who, if they're filling that arena with 25% or whatever it is, it's all going to be rich assholes that have that sponsor everything, and there'd be 0 students and 0 real fans.
Thank
all those
you.
people.
Thank you, they're our sponsor.
Not our sponsors are awesome. I'm talking about the NCAA.
You're right. That's right.
They don't sponsor this show.
True.
Right? Can someone in the back double check that? Do they?
We'll figure it out. Don't worry.
They're going to descend on the Final Four. It's ready to be played, and you're going to tell me that they're just going to straight up cancel one of the games. And you told me yes. You think you believe that would happen, and I say I can't accept that. I just can't accept it.
Well, none of this makes any sense because there is no precedent. And I think a lot of times in our culture, in our world, we're able to look at things and say, well, this has happened before, and this is how we handled it, so therefore we should do this, et cetera, et cetera. And with this situation, we don't know what we're doing. And again, we have Texas Abilene Christian going on right now, an upset possibly. You mentioned the upset factor. The late games, we've seen a lot of upsets. First, we see Maryland. Maryland mucks it up.
That's how they do it.
As I anticipated, they're going to muck this game up, gets UConn out of here. Ohio, a team that you and I both love.
That was one of my 3 stories.
You're part of the Jeff Bowles coaching tree, so this was good to see for you.
Brad Stevens coaching tree. We're done.
Out.
Get it out of here.
Masshole, you're done.
Get your masshole coaching tree.
Is a great
I'm
coaching
Jeff
tree.
Bowles coaching tree.
Yes.
Put me in the Jeff Bowles coaching tree.
What is he in the tournament? 1-0.
1-0.
Yeah, I'm
Career.
sorry. Yeah, it just
Undefeated.
beat the defending champions.
Brad Stevens isn't 1-0.
Yeah, exactly. But regardless, Ohio gets the upset there.
I have it in my ear that Jeff Bowles says he hates Ohio, actually. And
he's a masshole.
He's a masshole.
But I just wanted to say the late games, there's some upsets. There's some exciting stuff. We did see UCLA as well get the upset. So early on, it was very chalk. It was 8-0 earlier in the day for the higher seeds or for the lower seeds, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, look at this. Jeff Bowles, I want to play this video because Jeff, we had him on the show. We talked about what he's going to do with the dancing because this is something he's done all year. This is something a lot of teams do. I love this, by the way. Like I feel like this would have been frowned upon like 10 years ago. Like act like
Roy
you've been
Williams
there before.
invented this.
Oh, he did. He invented celebrating wins.
No, pouring water like this.
I
promise you. North Carolina fans, get in here.
But watch. Are we going to keep playing the whole thing? Because he gets wet. He walks around, and then this is when it gets really good. He's like he cleans off his glasses here.
Yeah.
Watch him. He's like, "What? Did I just win an NCAA?" Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm back.
Jazz hands.
I'm back. I'm back. I'm not done. You thought I was done? Ooh. The best part is he said he never knows what he's going to do, and that's why it's so pure. That's why it's so good.
I wish you could gamble on whether Bowles will dab. Like, because I said,
what is the line?
Did we talk about that on the air? Or did I say it off air? That I feel like that's his default when he doesn't know what else to do. He's just like kind of dancing, and he's like, ugh.
Yeah. He never heard the dab die, and I love that.
Texas is down 1, by the way, with about 5.5 to play. I don't really know how this happened. We were locked in on BYU UCLA. Texas. It's been a close game all game. We've been monitoring the score.
Yep.
But it just felt like.
I'm just saying.
It just felt like
the late games are upset games. So this is
true.
This seems to be a trend here.
So Jeff Bowles, Ohio beat Virginia. That was one of my other stories. And then my third story with VCU's situation, Ohio taking down Virginia. And then this Pac-12.
Big 12.
Big 12.
Who's the real 12?
I think we're finding out tonight. UCLA
we need John
gets
Morant
the win.
to have that jersey for us.
Yeah. UCLA gets the win. I think if Texas loses, we have our answer. And it's the Pac-12 tournament. I think stop the count. The tournament's over. The Pac-12 wins. Send the trophy out to us. We are the Pac-12 guys.
This is the Michael Jordan shot. The Pac-12. Larry Sky right now is doing that.
We got Big Wave Billy up on our picture frame up here on set because that's the day. That's the day we're having. The Pac-12 is unbelievable. What do we make of it for real?
Let's start with the first game, right? We opened the day, and, there was a lot of good juju, good energy going towards Georgetown, talking about Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing said, all of his doubters, a famous message to the haters. He says, basically, shut up. I sent it to you. I showed you. And that was not good. We did not like to hear that going into this game.
As one of the haters, I'm a little biased because I was sort of a Patrick Ewing hater in that I was like, Georgetown's not winning a lot of ball games in the Patrick Ewing era.
Not a hater, a doubter. You were a doubter.
I was a #JustFacts guy, and I was pointing out the facts. They just weren't winning a lot. And then they won 4 in a row.
In MSG, and then in his house. And then we come into this game, and you see 5-12. And I think America, that you say Georgetown's hot. Pac-12 basketball, they've won 2 tournament games in the past however many past 2 tournaments. That was the stat that they were giving up for the whole entire conference.
Yep.
But Colorado is a team that is a lot more solid than people expect. McKinley Wright has 13 assists in this game.
16 for 25 from the three-point line.
Could shoot the basketball.
And what was fascinating is Colorado runs Georgetown off the floor.
Yes.
Hits 16 threes. Meanwhile, their opponent in 2 days. What day is it? Monday? That's when they're playing Monday? Man, this whole bumping of the schedule is I was convinced.
We thought today was Friday.
I really did. I really did. In 2 days they're going to be playing a team in Florida State. They went 0 for 9 from the 3-point line. That is something I find very interesting. That a team hit 16 threes and a team hit 0 threes, and they're going to play. By the way, under 4 timeout. Texas is down to Abilene Christian. Woof. Speaking of woof, Moses picked VCU to go to the national championship game, and I need a ruling on this.
The first 2 days, Moses' 2 teams are out. We hate to see that.
But is VCU out? Like, what's the protocol? Does he just get his money back? Does he get all the treats he deposited for this bracket challenge? Look at this.
Moses
had VCU in the Final Four. This was a live look at him.
It was a candid live look.
That's a candid look. That's what he looked like when he heard the news. Yeah, Moses right there. Very sad. He's like, this is unbelievable. This is I can't believe what's happened to me. So yeah, what happened? What do you do if you have VCU? Like if someone was following Moses' bracket, what do we do? You just rip it up and say this isn't.
I think you do. If you put in money, right, you get your money back. But I will say this: what happened to the replacement teams? What was the point of the replacement teams? We're still in the first round. Why would Louisville not get the call up? And if they're not going to answer the call because I guess Chris Mack has decided to fire everybody on staff, if they're not going to answer the call, Colorado State, answer the call, answer the bell. Are you ready? I don't understand it. I know that there was this arbitrary deadline of Tuesday was the day, and then we're done with replacement teams. But it does feel like maybe we put them, in Indianapolis.
That's hard to say. In Indianapolis, I've
I'm
tried
Charles
it a lot.
Barkley right now.
I've tried it a lot.
I'm Annapolis, and but in general, why don't we just have someone there just in case? And these teams can, quarantine, be there for the first round. Nothing happens, then we leave. Then it's done. But what was the point of that?
I guess
it doesn't make any sense. I don't get it.
It doesn't make sense to me either. That we had this planned out. They had a plan for this.
Yes.
And then they just cut the plan loose. And then Louisville, as you said, fired all their coaches and
they're like we're not ready for a tournament.
How did this happen?
We're in the off season.
What was the point of naming replacement teams if you're not going to replace? I guess
hang the banner. I think that's what it was. It was like if you're Louisville, just say we could have been in this historic.
It really
tournament.
does suck because I think if you look at it, you say VCU is a 10 seed. Were they really going to do anything? And the answer is we don't know. That's why March Madness is awesome. Give them a shot.
If you're Louisville, you look at Syracuse and you said this 11 seed got a great draw, and now they're going to make probably a Sweet 16 run. We're better than Syracuse. We should have been in over them, probably in their opinion. So give us that 10 seed and let us go.
The question, hypothetically,
I'm upset for Louisville fans. For Mike Rutherford.
I'm more upset for VCU fans, I think.
I mean, of course. I just don't understand replacement
I don't
teams.
understand it either. I guess the thought is like if Oregon has been scouting VCU all week, and then now all of a sudden they have to play Louisville, they're like, we weren't ready for that. And it's like Louisville wasn't ready either. Go figure it out.
Exactly. That's what I would say.
Play tomorrow or something. Just like bump it a day or I don't know.
Where's Xavier? Weren't they?
Xavier needed. They were trying to play. They were trying to pick up a game. Xavier and VCU are going to play like in 3 weeks
for the national championship. Just name it. We're the national champions.
VCU was like, we're not done yet, and Xavier's like, we're not either. We were trying to play people.
Man, that's not good.
So does Oregon get credit for they don't get the win, but do they get like if Iowa hypothetically can't play either, which knock on wood again, I mean,
yep.
I hope nothing happens, obviously, but if Iowa can't play and Oregon gets a free pass to the Sweet 16, do they get a Sweet 16 banner or a Sweet 16 appearance or whatever it is?
Mm-hmm.
Does that count? If you're Oregon, are you like, yeah, we made the Sweet 16 in 2021? Is this a Florida State ACC tournament situation?
Yeah, I think it is one of those things where you get to the Sweet 16, you get a banner, and what you brought up originally, the idea of them getting blown out in the Sweet 16, that would be.
I don't know.
You can't hang the banner if that happens. If you get there de facto, and then you hang a banner, that's not good.
I feel like one of the college football people that was.
I don't think Dana Altman would do that though. Honestly,
they wouldn't hang a banner, but I'm saying would they like celebrate it? Would they put it in their database that we made a Sweet 16 this year?
They put it in the database.
Yeah.
You got to put it in the database. Always put it in the database. As someone who won the 1924 national championship, always put it in the database. Always write it down.
What year did you win the 1924 national championship? Like 1976?
Huh?
No, you won it in like 76, but then they awarded.
Oh yeah, they awarded it to them in like 19.
Everyone on the 24 team was dead when they said that they won it.
Look, don't you talk about Mr. Carmichael like that.
All right, Texas is down 3. Courtney Ramey, Matt Coleman for 3.
Oh my goodness.
Misses.
All right, so yeah, we're live. We got 2 minutes left.
This is a real thing that
this is upset. The late games.
I had Texas in my Final Four, by the way.
Moses had Abilene Christian in his Final Four, so
I was the
both sides.
Belmont could have played. Yeah, Bill Titus is fuming.
Is this a burner for your dad?
Burner.
He's like
Leo
Connolly. That checks out.
They'll never suspect it. Belmont should be here. I was gonna say I feel like the college football people with the VCU situation where college football comes back, or it never really left for the SEC and ACC, but when Big Ten and when they were trying to play a season, there's
the ACC is a football conference.
Early on in the season, there were a lot of questions about like how is this going to work? What if there's an imbalance? What if we have to cancel games? And the consensus was like, it's a pandemic. We're going to just figure it out. Everyone just calm down. Who cares if
we'll use common sense?
We'll use common sense.
That was kind of what they're like. We'll deal with it if it happens.
And then fast forward to like the time to hand out trophies, and everyone's yelling like Ohio State didn't play enough, and this schedule, and everyone just threw that out the window. And that's where I've arrived with this. Was like coming into the season, I was like, I get it. If we can just get in what we can get in. Figure it out. Like, we just have to have the tournament. And then VCU gets kicked out. And I'm like, this is the dumbest thing ever. Like, we have to pause the tournament and let VCU back in. You can't just let their season end by some guy in a white coat, like, knocking on the door and being like, you guys tested positive, sorry. And that's how your season ends? You deserve to have your season end the way my season ended, which is Dwayne Washington missing 12 straight open shots.
You deserve closure.
That's what you deserve. You deserve
closure. Yeah, that's all it is.
Why does my season have to end with that?
Just be fair.
And a VCU fan gets to just like look on Twitter and be like, all right, I guess we're over.
I will say,
I don't know what hurts most, honestly. It's got to be VCU. Like we had a shot and we blew it.
120 left. 120 to
play.
Still a 3-point game. What is Shaka? What is Shaka thinking right now? Because if you look at the start of this season, they go and win the Asheville/Maui Invitational. We were there. We saw it. We saw the talent on this team. You see the backcourt, a veteran backcourt with Ramey and Coleman and obviously Jones, and those three guys have butted heads at times. But you also look at the front court when you got Sims and Kai Jones and Greg Brown and the talent that they have there.
They are absolutely loaded, talent-wise.
And if you're Shaka, like I know it's got to be frustrating at this point, obviously.
Yeah, if I'm Shaka, I'm saying to myself, I don't like the current situation I'm in.
Yes.
Down by 3 points. But like, what was the spread in this game, by the way?
This was a team that we expected to go to the Final Four. You know what I mean? And in December, I'm pretty sure I told a lot of people to bet on them to win the title. So the fact they're in this situation is pretty shocking.
They were only 8.5-point favorites, so I don't think.
I mean, Vegas kind of
people in the know.
Yeah.
Saw it coming. Moses, as I said, he had Abilene Christian in the Final Four. So
chaos.
We'll keep an eye on this situation. So what else? We talked VCU. We talked Ohio. I guess the Jeff. We were not surprised by this. Jeff Bowles. We were Jason Preston. Ben Vanderplas. Just went absolutely nuts. I love Vanderplas's dad, by the way.
He was great.
Star.
The whole family. Yeah.
This is something I forgot from 2 years ago. Is just the family. We get a lot of coach shots, like coach family shots.
Mick Cronin's dad.
Mick Cronin's dad. Mariah Musselman.
Yes.
A few years ago. That happens a lot, but what I'm a real sucker for is like the proud papa and the proud mama that you get the shot of the like, because this is their one shot. Ben Vanderplas probably isn't going to be back in the NCAA tournament. I don't even know. Is he a senior? Is he not? I don't know. But even if he like,
but it was great. Like he's hitting threes and his dad is like,
his dad was doing the goggles.
Yeah, we were just talking. We were talking about the goggles were gone. Not in dad world.
Yeah.
Not in dad world.
That's so cool. So
Abilene Christian up 51-47 right now, up for, oh my goodness.
Here's a question. I saw Tony Bennett was trending on Twitter after Virginia lost.
Yes.
And people
overrated is what they're saying.
Yeah, people were saying, can Tony Bennett's style work in March? What say Tate Frazier? You're the ACC expert. Do you think Tony Bennett will ever get over the hump and win a national title in the way that he won a national title literally the last tournament that
You're asking, can he do it again?
Can he do it again?
Can he do it again?
Yeah.
Can he do it again?
Can the man who has as many national titles as Bill Self, as John Calipari?
I'm giving a bump to the new bloods.
Can he do it? It's Jim Boeheim, a man who's all these guys are Hall of Famers.
Virginia is a new blood. Virginia is a new blood. Tony Bennett is a star. And I was talking to you earlier about this. Virginia fans, I love, but I also have a love-hate relationship with some of them because calling out Tony Bennett and saying, like I said, he's the Dean Smith of this century, right? Class act. Loses this game, class act. Goes over to Coach Bowles. Great job, Coach. Love your squad. Good luck in the next round. Very Dean Smith thing to do. This is how we behave.
Oh, my God. Matt Coleman just dribbled off his foot down 4 with a minute left.
Oh,
they're losing, dude. This is look, he's smiling.
Wow.
He's smiling.
He just gave the laugh.
He's like, there it is.
Yep.
Dude, this is tough, too, because Abilene Christian is a Texas school.
22 turnovers for the Longhorns tonight.
Texas losing to this. I'm getting flashbacks to when Ohio State lost to Dayton and Aaron Craft just sat there on the floor looking at this guy. You can't lose. You can't be the massive school in your state and lose to a team in your state unless they're also a power conference. I guess Texas losing to Baylor wouldn't be that bad, but to lose to Abilene Christian.
Yeah, usually there's kind of an understood, kind of tip of the cap where the small school is High Point, for example. Tubby Smith is the 16 seed.
If High Point beat Carolina
or Duke, that would not be good. You know what I mean? But usually come in that game, give a tip of the cap and move on. But the tough part, too, for Texas, guys like Vince Young, as you see here, Miles Turner, they're all coming out and saying, this team's going to turn it around because they have so much talent. You expect it to happen. But,
travel.
Here we go. Got to travel. Maybe. I need some magic for Texas. I really do. I can't let this happen. I don't want this season to end this way.
Yeah. I don't care
But no
anymore.
disrespect to Abilene
I'm dead
Christian.
inside when it comes to
We always enjoy the upsets. Love a Cinderella story.
Well, we literally said this afternoon when we did the live show, what is the worst case scenario for us today? What could happen that would rip our hearts out?
And we both said Abilene Christian.
We both said if Abilene Christian win, not because we have anything against them. It's just or we're not even Texas fans, but we are fans of Maui Invitational. We're fans of the Maui Bump.
Yes.
And we believe that the team that wins the Maui Invitational should win the first round game against the 14 seed. We've always believed that.
At least go to the Elite Eight, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of where we are with it. So
that's
Not
tough.
good.
Other stuff that happened today. So we talked. We haven't really spent a ton of time on the Pac-12. USC with the big win. UCLA's hot. Who else? What else is happening? Gonzaga blew out Norfolk State, which no one's going to pay any attention to because this is Gonzaga. This is the story of Gonzaga all season is wait until blank. And I know it's a 16 seed, but look what the other ones did to the 16s.
Yep.
Look what Gonzaga did to their 16.
Yep.
And at some point, somebody's going to wake up and be like, this team might be pretty good. And still, it's okay, they did it against a 16. Let's see what happens against Oklahoma. And then they're probably going to smoke Oklahoma. And then they'll be like, all right, but Oklahoma kind of sucked. Let's see what happens.
And they did it in this window of upsets. You know what I mean? That adds a little bit more to it, and I mean, Gonzaga just looks like by far the best team. They look like the national champions. That was the biggest win since Villanova in 2016 beat Oklahoma by 44 points. They win by 43.
But Gonzaga suffers from what I call the Wilt Chamberlain. I need a better name for it. The Wilt Chamberlain conundrum, the paradox.
You're scaring me with that because Wilt Chamberlain lost to Liddy Rosenbluth in North Carolina in the title game.
No. Let me explain.
Gonzaga fans, walk it back.
Let me explain. Wilt Chamberlain averaged so many points and scored so many points in his career that it got to a point where you weren't impressed anymore. Wilt Chamberlain could score.
Points for the Blue Bloods because Wilt Chamberlain, one of the OG Blue Bloods, get him back to 0.
Wilt Chamberlain would score 71 points, say, and you would you see if I told you Wilt Chamberlain on this day you scored 71 points, you'd be like, hey, Karen's Wilt Chamberlain, it's boring. And I feel like that's Gonzaga. If I told you Gonzaga won by 50 today, you're like, yeah, but it was against a 16 seed. I'm like, show me another one that won by 50 today, and they're like, well,
yeah,
but they smoke, they kick everyone's ass so badly that the bar just keeps getting. They've raised their own bar to where you're never impressed.
Yes,
if that makes any sense.
You're like, what else? That's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
We got blood on the floor here in Abilene Christian Texas game.
56 seconds left. Andrew Jones back at the line. Everyone's bleeding.
Yeah, everyone. Literally
Blake
everyone.
Griffin has a double cross prank TV show on True TV. Be sure to check that out. What's that show? The TBS show, the Chad show. Oof. That looks rough. I'm not watching that. Just as an aside, a little sidebar to clean up the blood.
We are not brought to you by that show.
I promise you that. I am not brought to you by that show. And if we are, I'm not even sorry for it. I'll pay the money that you paid us to sponsor the show.
You know what show we are brought to you by? The Pitino Show. And we should bring that up. Alabama plays Rick Pitino today. And that was college basketball, the blue check marks. They were fired up because Rick Pitino reminded the world why he is one of the best in-game basketball coaches you will ever see. Yeah. And, made this a game. Iona's obviously not the same competition level or, same quality of team as Alabama. But Rick Pitino coached him to the point to be in this game. Yeah. And that was great to see.
The wheels kind of fell off towards the end. But he had a moment. That's what we said earlier. He had a moment.
Yes.
And that's all you needed.
We get it.
That's all you needed. You didn't need to win the game. You needed to have, as multiple TVs are on, you needed America to be like, oh, something interesting's happening with Alabama.
Hey,
yeah, I don't know. Let me flip over. And then as soon as everybody
Moses
flipped
picked
over,
that game.
And as soon as everybody flipped over, Alabama went on a run. But you got to see Rick Pitino on an NCAA tournament sideline. That's all we really needed. So Abilene Christian can't inbound the ball. Have to call timeout.
And he definitely got Nate Oates a little rattled, which I like Nate Oates a lot, and I like that he called out Coach K. But I did like the old guard of Rick Pitino This is a win for the Blue Bloods.
What? How?
Because, so Rick Pitino, Blue Blood coach, we all know this. Kentucky, 1996, Camelot. George Clooney came to the Final Four. Blue Bloods. And
sports?
Sports. And then if you look at Nate Oates, very new blood. Guy went, Buffalo, beats Arizona as a 13 seed when they had the #1 pick, DeAndre Ayton.
Calls out Coach K.
Very new blood, so we'll give him some points there. The Blue Bloods back in the green. That's good.
By the way, did you explain to the people that are going to listen to this on the podcast what's going on here? That we have this scoreboard in the studio.
So if you're not watching us, you're just listening. There is a scoreboard. It's Blue Bloods. It's New Bloods. You've heard us talk about this on the show plenty of times. We also introduced True Bloods, Indiana and NC State, both True Bloods. We do not have a scoreboard for them because State can't handle a scoreboard. At Indiana, just leave them alone now. This is the leave Brittany alone for my. That's what I'm saying for Indiana. Leave Brad alone and leave Indiana alone.
Yeah.
But the Blue Bloods, they're struggling. We all know that. Duke not in the tournament. Kentucky not in the tournament. Carolina knocked out in the first round. Kansas had a scare today. UCLA pretty much holding it down for the Blue Bloods. But some people would argue that Mick Cronin is more new blood than blue blood. But I'm going to say you're at UCLA. I give them to the Blue Bloods. It's always blue blood.
My brain is in a pretzel trying to make sense of what you just said. But I do know this.
Yes.
Texas is down by 2. There's 56 seconds left in this ball game. I have the Texas Longhorns in my Final Four. My dog has Abilene Christian in his Final Four.
It's so funny when you said that.
This is the house divided.
When you said my dog, it was like your friend. You're like, my dog.
It's like 1997.
Yeah, exactly.
We're on the playground trying to be cool.
My dog Jeremy over there told me he's got some hot Pokemon cards.
All right, Abilene Christian is kind of doing the 3-man weave. It looked like they're doing the Harlem Globetrotters.
This is not good. Do you know that Will Chamberlain played for the Harlem Globetrotters? Just to spin that all back into one thing. Here we go, Abilene Christian.
Oh,
turnover.
Loses the ball out of bounds.
That's a blue blood win. That's good for the
play?
Blue Blood. Yeah, well, that's good. That's good for
all
the
right,
Blue Bloods.
Here it is. 28 seconds left.
Look at that. Oh, mine is for the New Bloods. Abilene Christian, New Blood. Oh, losing their mind.
Dude, it's going to be so weird. I'll shut up. All right, let's lock
here we go.
20 seconds to go.
2-point game.
Shaka's not calling timeout. He has the timeout left. We'll see if he uses it. Maybe they get in a sticky situation and want to use it. Doesn't seem like he's going to.
No.
Andrew Jones. Yeah.
Let's go, Texas.
He's hit those before.
Let's go, Andrew.
He's hit them before. We saw it at West Virginia.
One of the greatest stories in college basketball, and a guy who's been through so much, off the court, and then to see him succeed and have such a good year. And honestly, Abilene Christian, I feel that pain right there. But man, what a big shot by.
It's not over. There's 14 seconds left. That was not a buzzer beater.
I know, but that was a big shot.
It was a big shot. It gave Texas the lead. Yeah, I was gonna say we saw the shot of the lady with their chin diaper on, and it's gonna be so weird to.
I think it's Coach's wife, Abilene.
Oh, that was Coach's wife.
Yeah, Coach's wife.
Do you think we're gonna get in the montages 20 years from now when you're going back and looking back on NCAA tournaments past? Do you think all the footage from this year they're just gonna be just throw that in the trash? We don't want fans in masks and socially distanced.
I think Gavin, his name Dan Gavin's gonna look at it. He's gonna say, get this Mickey Mouse tournament out of my face. That's what he's going to say.
Just trash the footage.
Yeah.
Except Oral Roberts, because that's the worst possible scenario for me. Save all the Oral Roberts. Let's duplicate it, actually.
He sees the graphic that they had.
Disseminate it everywhere.
That Brad Davison 29 points, 6 rebounds guy. He's like, get this out of here. All right, here we go. 14 seconds to go. Abilene down 1.
What if it's not a Mickey Mouse tournament? It's a Mick Cronin tournament.
Dude, he could be the Mickey. I honestly,
Mickey Cronin.
I said this.
It's not a Mickey. It's a Mixie.
I have a theory that I want to explain later about Mick Cronin and why he's Mr. March now, but we gotta focus in. Texas trying to avoid the upset. Shaka Smart showing off his hair, also doing a quick little reminder to the ref. Don't blow that whistle. That's good to see.
As a reminder, we are the big school in Texas, so
yeah, you know what it is. That was the final reminder. He was like, you know how this plays out. You know where the money is.
All right, here we go.
Here we go, man.
10 seconds.
This is March Madness. This is why we watch. Here we go.
They're not getting a shot.
Yeah,
He's going to have to do it himself.
Floater.
Oh, he beat it. That's it. Oh, the foul? Did they call foul?
No way. No way. No way. No way.
What? Where? I need to see this replay.
That ref obviously did not listen to Shaq.
My! They called a foul on Kai Jones here. That is
a
block. Are they calling it on Matt Coleman? That's a foul. The foul, that's a block. But look at Coleman reach his hand in like as he's trying to do it. That's a foul. I'll give him that. If
it's on Coleman, it's a foul. You're right, but not definitely.
It is on Coleman. All right.
Okay.
Oh my God, I was about to have a heart attack, dude.
Wow. Man, we don't have audio on this game, so I can't tell. Did Coleman foul out right there? There's no way he fouled out, right?
It seemed to look like
he's acting like he did.
Let me pull up some stats.
But anyways, that was a crazy sequence of events. We got 1.2 on the clock here. If you're watching with us live, appreciate you joining in. You know, Titus and Tate on YouTube, 52-51. Man, this is
It says Matt Coleman has 7 turnovers and had 4 fouls, so I imagine that
was his 5th. Yeah.
Maybe it didn't refresh. Maybe
Pleasant's had a great game for Abilene Christian, by the way. If we should point that out, Joe Pleasant.
That's all right. 1 second. What is it? 1-1? Yeah. It's
gonna be 1-1. Wow. Joe Pleasant, a 58% free throw shooter. No free throws tonight. Again, Abilene Christian down 1.
I want to see. I'm hitting like 58% on this.
I got it.
I've been hitting 58% on this basket we have in the studio.
58%.
Shooting these like I feel like Shaq with these tiny balls on the.
I was gonna say it's a toss up every time you take a shot.
We'll see. Pleasant's 58%. I'm hitting about 58%. Let's see what happens. Ball don't lie. Oh,
first one's good. First one's good.
He's hitting the first one. I can't believe I just. How about that?
That was good.
Did we get that? Did we get that on camera? I mean,
no one got it on camera.
We didn't turn the cameras on. We didn't turn the cameras on.
Yeah, the cameras are off. This is for us. We're just talking to each other. Here we go. 52-51. They're at the free throw line. Our guy, Joe Pleasant. I think he makes both these. I mean, Cinderella, man. This is.
I think he makes one and it goes to overtime because that's like kind of the worst case scenario for our show because like we're trying to talk about what's going on, or what happened today.
I would have put the mask over my eyes. That would have been my my plan instead of covering my hands.
I was a big can't watch guy when I was little, but then I shifted into like just.
I used to put the pillow over my face.
Oh, he hit the first. See,
give me the bottom line. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is going to be very unpleasant, to say the least.
Coleman's still in. That was his
fans.
4th, obviously.
Okay, so that's good.
Okay.
Man.
Wow. Hit him
58%,
wow.
big time. Joe Pleasant.
Onions. That is.
Wow.
Oh.
That's not a good pass. That's game, folks.
That's game.
That's upset.
Wow. Abilene did it.
Wow.
I thought Texas got this out of their system. I'll be honest. Like I'm not shocked that I know I had Texas in my Final Four, but like I'm not shocked in the sense that we've been up and down on Texas all year, dude. How many times have we said I'm done with Texas, and then we check back in a week and we're like, dude, Texas is looking great.
I know.
And then I talk myself back in. I've missed on Texas. If you're buying and selling stocks, I was buying high and selling low. Oh my God. I whiffed at every turn on Texas.
This is truly shocking. This is truly shocking.
I whiffed at every turn. Oh, that hurts. Speaking of 14 seeds beating 3 seeds, State, we actually have a special guest who's joining us now from his hotel room in Indianapolis, Indiana. It's the star of the Ohio Bobcats, a man who took down the defending national champions today. His name is Jason Preston. Jason, what's going on, man?
What's going on?
What is life like inside the bubble? You guys, because on the outside, the world is talking about the Bobcats. We're talking about the big win. You guys, Virginia was technically the national champion. You beat them. There's a lot of buzz. You're certainly a chapter of the madness going on here, and I have a feeling it's more boring in the bubble. It seems like it might be.
We just got some good Chick-fil-A, so we're feeling good over here.
That's how you celebrate.
Got three chicken sandwiches.
Living the dream, Jason. We love to hear that, man. It is fascinating to watch. You know, Titus and I, we were big fans of you earlier in the season. We saw you get all the headlines and get all the coverage, and then you guys had to deal with the COVID pause. And there was the questions like, what is this team going to look like coming out of that? And you guys have been unbelievable. Obviously, you tear through the MAC, and then you obviously beat Virginia today, the team that won the regular season in the ACC. So just how does it feel to now be at this point? I mean, are you celebrating? Obviously, you got Chick-fil-A, so you are celebrating. So you feel good right now, right?
Oh yeah, man, it feels amazing. You know, we're gonna take tonight. We're gonna celebrate. But you know, come tomorrow, we're locking in, and we got another tough team ahead of us in Creighton. But tonight, I mean, we saw the videos of what Corkscrew is looking like now. It's just crazy. It's crazy. All the support that we've gotten is so surreal.
So your head coach, Jeff Bowles, joined us, what was it, Selection Sunday?
Yep,
yeah, we talked to him Selection Sunday. I'm sure he's brought this up a million times because I'm sure when he's motivating you guys, he's talking about players that played for him, and he talks about me a lot. I played for him at Ohio State, Jason. And Coach Bowles was my favorite assistant coach I ever had. He's so fun. He's by every definition, and you could stop me if you disagree, a player's coach, a guy you'd love to play for, a guy that you trust. When he looks you in the eye and he says, I have your best interest in mind, you believe him. He's also a goofball. And so that's one of the things I loved about him was just how goofy he was, but how unabashedly goofy he was. Your thoughts on his dancing skills? Like
yes,
because we were talking about that earlier, the dancing that was going on in the locker room. What's your favorite Jeff Bowles dance? What's your, you know?
Oh man, everyone tells him it's bad. Everyone tells him it's bad, but he still keeps on going strong, you know. And not too many coaches, you know, they're willing to do that, and he's still going on strong. And we really wanted to. We were planning on getting the Schmurda down. We won the MAC championship, but he had to do some interviews, so. Maybe we can get that one going soon.
He told us that he doesn't like practice him. He just walks in.
It's all ad lib.
It's all ad lib. Like he walks in. Do you believe that, or do you think he's like in front of a mirror actually practicing?
I think he's just off adrenaline. I don't know if he's. I hope he's not practicing that. I hope he's not practicing that.
Is any part of you, Jason, going back to this run you guys are on? You win the MAC title. As Tate said, you popped up on everyone's radar earlier in the season. I think the game at Illinois kind of put you on the national scene. Is it been weird for you, or just the feeling of you individually, just having more notoriety as the season has gone on, and now obviously the element of surprise is gone when you guys are going to play Creighton. I imagine Greg McDermott is going to be having a scouting report, and he's going to say this guy Jason Preston is pretty damn good, and we should throw everything at him. How do you as a competitor feel about that? I mean, Virginia obviously was throwing everything at you. You almost put up a triple-double. I assume you welcome that. Have you noticed a change as the season has gone on and you've been like, dang, can everybody stop talking about me so I can go back to surprising some people?
You know, I hope they do that because, I mean, this team seems a lot bigger than just me. I think I only took like 8 shots today. And if teams want to double team me or trap me or have me at their focus, I mean, that gets other guys going. I mean, you saw Ben Vanderplas tonight.
Yep.
Ben Roger hitting big shots. London McDade, Dwight Wilson. You know, we're a great team. We're a lot bigger than just who I am as a basketball player. So and to go on about like the notoriety and stuff, I guess COVID's helped a little bit because we don't really go outside. We kind of locked away in our own rooms. So, I mean, that really hasn't been an issue, but, you know, we're excited. We're excited.
And Jason, I have to ask you about this because, you know, you mentioned being in the headlines. Obviously, as you move on and you guys move on, it'll happen more and more. But I found a fascinating headline that said that you were once a blogger. And just like Titus and I, you were a fan of sports and wanted to talk about sports, and you loved the Pistons. So, like, how much of this story, like, did you want to be told to the world? And do you like the idea of people now, like, loving you and thinking that you wanted to be just like them, you know, a sports blogger?
You know, the biggest gift you can give somebody is inspiration. So, if my story can inspire somebody else to push harder, get through their day, want to achieve their goals. I'm happy. I'm happy I can do that.
And you got to take some lessons from Big Shot Billups. You know what I mean? I know you're a Chauncey Billups fan, or your mom is a Chauncey Billups fan. At least that's what the article is saying. So I like that Detroit Pistons energy. Yep. You know what I mean? That's what we like to see.
Jason, $1 million question. We'll let you go. Get some rest. Get ready for Creighton here in a couple days. I'm an Ohio State alum. Obviously, the Buckeyes, I'm sure you're aware. I'm sure news has gotten to your team that the Buckeyes choked it away against Oral Roberts. Cleveland State was also in this tournament. They lost to Houston. You are representing now the entire state of Ohio. You're the only team left in the state of Ohio. Am I allowed as an Ohio State guy to jump on the Ohio bandwagon? Or are you saying no, this is interstate rivalry, like stay away? Only Bobcats allowed. Only if you're with us all year. I don't want any Buckeyes on our bandwagon.
Man, come on down.
Yes.
Come on down.
Nice.
Come on down.
That's what I needed.
And Jason, I'm from North Carolina. I was a Bobcats fan, so I've been with the Bobcats. So I'm all into. So we're on the bandwagon. Let's go.
That's what we needed to hear.
You're a real one.
That's what we needed to hear. Jason, appreciate the time, man. Congrats on the big win.
Enjoy the Chick-fil-A.
Enjoy the Chick-fil-A, and we look forward to watching you play in a couple days.
Appreciate y'all having me.
All right, take care, man. How about that?
Love it.
Look at that, Jason Preston. A man who you were calling, what were we calling him, LaMelo Small? You love this. Like, someone reached out to you and said Andre Curbelo is Lonzo Small, and you haven't gotten that out of your head.
I just want to call him LaMelo Light.
Like, you know what I mean? And you said Jason Preston looks like.
I just love him out there.
He looks and plays like LaMelo.
I mean, he's got the confidence of LaMelo. You know what I mean? He's unfazed. And the best part about guys like Jason Preston, like you just said right there, double team me, triple team me, whatever you want to do. I trust my teammates. I'm not going to panic. We're going to be okay if I only take 8 shots because we're going to find a way to win the game. If you want to game plan around me, our team will be better than you. And I love that. It's a great answer.
What else do we need to talk about? Creighton. So the Ohio Bobcats will move on to play Creighton on what day is it? Monday. They'll play on Monday. Dude, I'm all out of whack. Creighton, it's UC Santa Barbara, a team that you believed in.
I loved them.
Had a shot.
I loved them
at the buzzer-ish to pull off the upset. Should a foul have been called was one of the notes. Number 2, should Joe Pasternak have called timeout when they were getting double teamed, and then they had a shot at the end even, and they didn't call timeout, and he went for the long heave. Your thoughts as a guy who was really pulling for UCSB in that one? Yeah,
Ja'Cory McLaughlin is shout out to him, one of my Kimba candidates. Did not have his best day today. I feel like Miles Norris had a great game. I was proud to see him kind of step up here. UCSB, this was their day. This was their game. You mentioned sort of the gaffes at the end of the game. It was unfortunate to see. I don't know what Pasternak was thinking. I guess he was thinking, I trust Ja'Cory. I trust him to make a play here. He's the man who was double teamed. He gets out of the double team, makes a great pass. We have some contact. A lot of people are going to say, should have gone up stronger. I don't think that. I think it should have been a foul called. I think we should have had free throws there. I mean, not to take anything away from Creighton, but in my humble opinion, Santa Barbara should have won this game.
Not to take anything away.
Not to take the win away.
But also in a more real sense, to take literally the game away.
Yes. The Santa Barbara should be in the next round. I don't want to take
anything away except for that win.
The win, yes. The win. Give it back. Give it back to my guys. But the Big West versus the Big East, it was a big showdown. You and I are West Coast basketball, enthusiasts.
Dude, Wally Zerbiak's sense of fashion is preposterous. Can we just call that out? I don't know. Every time, can we just get this man just a plain navy suit or something?
It does seem, yes, he's.
It's always got something going on. Like the other day, his shoulder pad. I swear he had shoulder pads on. The guy's already got broad shoulders.
If you told me that Wally Zerbiak's his OG was Clyde Frazier, that would make a lot more sense. You know what I mean? He's been hanging around with Walt, and he's I gotta wear fresh shoes all the time.
He was wearing a sport coat the other day. I swear to God,
I like the shoulder pads.
You can land a plane on his shoulders, dude.
They can't be his real shoulders, or he get implants. It's so good.
Wally, come on the show.
Please, Wally, you're the best.
He always stands out. I guess that's the point. I guess that's why you dress like that. You always stand out. Is there anything? I'm trying to think. We're pulling for what's the summarize where we're at. Where the two of us are at, and what we need out of this tournament. We needed our teams to win a game. That let us down. So where do we go from here? What is it that we're looking for now? What do we need out of? Are you cheering for chaos? Are you if my team goes down, let's just all of them go down?
I am pulling for the best case scenario championship game, first and foremost, always. Because when you pull for chaos, as you and I have figured out over the years, you get to the Sweet 16, you get to the Elite Eight, and you look around and say, that was a lot of fun, but Sister Jean's playing who in the Elite Eight?
Yeah.
We don't want that again.
Yeah.
We want, in my opinion.
I think this is the year I might want it.
No.
I think so.
No.
I think
because then you want it to be. You're saying you just want it to blow up. You want it.
I just want it to blow up. I want it to be a Mickey Mouse tournament.
See, I am still holding hope because I do think, regardless of some of the things, like you said, some of our personal things that happen, I do like the idea of Gonzaga just running through here, running through the West, getting to the Final Four. I love the idea of the East kind of being up for grabs. I love Maryland as this sort of weird team that can upset anyone. Muck it up.
UConn shot 32% from the field today.
UCLA is a sleeper. I mean, I don't even know how far, and I don't even.
Johnny Juzang, can I talk about him very quickly?
That's good,
this man was at Kentucky, was not good enough per John Calipari and the coaching staff.
Yep.
To even practice, it felt like if Johnny Juzang got on the floor, they were just like, I guess we got to play him. I don't really want to, and he wasn't allowed to shoot. It's a different player. I don't understand what happened. The man might be the most confident basketball player in the entire country right now.
Yeah, he's
for good reason.
27 points tonight,
scoring a ton of points. But it's like I don't even recognize what happened. He's from the LA area, right? So like maybe it really was. He was just homesick and he just wanted to come back home, and now he's balling out for UCLA. But it's unbelievable. It's night and day.
But when we saw UCLA under Mick Cronin the first time last year, and you watch this team and you're just like, this is not a Mick Cronin team. He's got to figure this out. They found out who they are. I mean, it's Jaime, right?
Yep.
It's 3 J's. It's Jaime, it's Johnny, and it's Jules.
Yeah.
That is UCLA basketball. Yep. Those 3 guys run everything through them, and you're going to be okay. Tiger Campbell, love Tiger. But those 3 are the guys, and they've been playing great. And if they do, and they play this way, they can take UCLA very far. And if Chris Smith wasn't hurt,
I know
we're talking about a totally different run.
I know. I mean, right.
Come on.
We were both high on UCLA to start the season. All right, so looking at tomorrow, let's pivot there. What stands out to us? I mean, Illinois Loyola. As I said yesterday after the Gala games were played, I looked at the top of the Midwest region, and I'm saying those are 4 teams of destiny, and only one of them can ultimately be a team of destiny and get to the Elite Eight out of that group.
Yes.
So that has my attention for sure.
Absolutely, and I think we also that's the battle for Chicago, right?
Yep.
For every single person is like, who is going to get these Chicago recruits? Will it be DePaul? Never. No. But I think the real thing, you mentioned those 4 teams, Oregon State, Oklahoma State. I think that is the first signifier, qualifier, whatever it is, for the Pac-12 versus the Big 12. Who is the best conference in basketball this season? They are battling for.
I think Texas kind of settled it. It's the Pac-12 right now.
Okay, all right.
Stop the count. It's the Pac-12 tournament.
Yes.
Well, I think it's done. Which one of the is Pac-12 blue blood or new blood?
Pac-12 is a new blood.
I'm sorry, what? The Conference of Champions is a new blood?
It's a new blood. Because that was
They're so old.
They're so old that they're new.
They come back around.
And I told you about Indiana. Indiana may be a new blood when Brad Stevens comes, but originally blue blood. You can change. Things change. Here we go. We got a question.
Titus Tate, what are your thoughts on Oregon State advancing?
I think they have a real shot. Unfortunately, I like. We're on the bandwagon of Oklahoma State. I will say that openly. We just had Coach Boynton on the show.
We're about to have. We talked to Coach Boynton earlier today. Should we just roll that?
Yeah, we should roll that. We should get that out of the way. Let's do that now because we love Coach.
And then we'll talk about it after.
Yes.
And joining us now is the head coach of the Oklahoma State Cowboys, Mike Boynton. Coach, so at the start of the year, Tate and I think we kind of knew that our alma mater, Tate's a North Carolina guy, I'm an Ohio State guy. I think we had a sixth sense that we were going to blow it in the tournament.
Yeah,
because,
something bad was coming, Coach.
Coming into the season, we were trying to figure out a bandwagon team to pick. We talked to each other about it. We landed on Oklahoma State. We picked you guys to be our bandwagon team that we could both cheer for all season. And since that time, the bandwagon has filled up, Coach. Everybody's talking about you guys. Cade is now very confident. He says he wants to emulate Carmelo Anthony's 2003 run. So my question to you as a coach is, how do you manage what the expectation has become, the confidence of your team, while also keeping the one game at a time mentality?
That's a great question. You guys have really good taste in basketball programs, I tell you.
Yeah, I love that, Coach.
I admire both of those programs, both of those coaches, a lot of really good players. For us, it's just about trying to be in the moment and trying to get these guys to enjoy as much of this process as possible, particularly because our program hasn't been here as consistently as those two programs that we're mentioning. And certainly recently we haven't had the success, even when we have gotten here, to be able to look too far ahead. So I want our guys to keep dreaming big, but I want them to stay focused on the task at hand. And the task right now is a really good Oregon State team who's playing with as much confidence as any team is in a whole tournament, because they're on the run, kind of, getting in this tournament through their conference tournament. And now having upset Tennessee in the first round, got to feel like they can beat anybody on any night.
And Coach, we have to ask this because we are college basketball diehards. We love the game of college basketball, and we love Cade Cunningham, and we love that he came to college and played for you. And, I want to work back a little bit because, this summer there was all these stories about, Oklahoma State, will they play in the tournament? Should Cade just opt out and not play basketball? And he says no. Stop with all that NBA chatter. I'm going to go play for my coach. I'm going to play for my school. What did it mean to have him do that, and how great has it been to be able to now have him in the tournament and be in this position now?
Well, if you think anybody's happier that Cade decided to play college basketball more than I am, but it's been a true joy to be able to have him in our program every day. First of all, he loves the game. Like, he doesn't enjoy as a hobby. He doesn't like it because people think he's good at it. He takes it pretty seriously. He's pretty intentional about improving. He is a almost desperate competitor in terms of the most important thing to him is winning.
I love it.
And so I'm very thankful that he stayed committed to our program and that winning has continued to be the most important thing for him, because there's been a lot of noise out there about how he should be playing or why he isn't being more aggressive and taking more shots. But he stayed focused on improving, helping his teammates be better, and putting our team in position of where we are now with the Sweet 16 riding on the line in our next game.
Well, whether it's because you guys have been playing well down the stretch or most likely it's because of Cade, but a lot of the country has watched a lot of Oklahoma State basketball this year. And if you have watched a lot of Oklahoma State basketball, one thing you might have noticed is you guys playing a lot of close games, Coach. They always seem – you guys have been a fun team to watch. If you're a neutral fan, throw in an Oklahoma State game – in the final 5 minutes, it's probably going to be close.
Yeah, you're getting your money's worth.
So for us, we have nothing on the line. If you guys lose a heartbreaker, we're just like, oh, that sucks, and we walk away and we live our lives. But as a coach, is this something that you look back on and you say, that's good experience for us, now we're going into March, we're not going to panic if it's a close game down the stretch? Or are you like, now hang on a second, we're playing with fire here, boys. Like, we gotta sharpen up a little bit.
Well, I tell our team all the time, I would be perfectly comfortable with a 10-point win. and I say that in jest, obviously, because, winning is winning. And as long as we're playing the right way, we understand that we're playing at the highest level of competition in the country on most nights when we play in our conference. And then getting into the NCAA tournament, that's what it's going to be most games. It's going to be close games. You see a lot of crazy things happen, buzzer beaters or upsets or whatnot. And I think this experience going through this season, we played 16 of our games heading into the NCAA tournament were decided by 5 points or less or in overtime.
Wow.
And we won 11 of those games. So we're a pretty battle-tested group. And I'm excited that we just continue to have an opportunity to play in this tournament.
I feel like you have too much data almost, Coach, that like if you're in a close game now, you're like, which one of those 11 plays, the 11 times that we won those close games, which one of those do I call here? That seems like a little bit overkill. So let's talk about the game you guys got tomorrow. Oregon State, they are a 12 seed. You mentioned earlier they're very hot. They're a team that had to win their conference tournament to even make the tournament. Then they knock off Tennessee rather easily, kind of. So what is the message to the team now? To you have a very young team. I'm sure they've all followed the NCAA tournament through the years. I'm sure they know that a 12 seed is typically not a great team. So how do you get them to ignore the number next to Oregon State and say that number represents their whole season? It doesn't represent the team they are right now, because right now they're a very good basketball team.
Yeah, there's a delicate balance that you have to strike with a young team. First and foremost, you got to help them understand that there are things that we have to do about ourselves to give ourselves a good chance to win. The second thing is, and this one is a little easier because it speaks to both teams, we don't know if Oregon State went through something in the middle of the year where they dropped a couple of games and maybe was in that position where they had to win their conference tournament. And so at this point, the seeds aren't really as relevant as most outsiders think.
Right.
In fact, our guys would tell you that we deserved a better seed than a 4.
Right.
But I tell them, at the end of the day, you got to play the games in front of you. And to win this thing, you have to beat good people. And so we aren't really focused on the seed lines as much as trying to prepare ourselves to face Oregon State team, like I said, that's very confident, shooting the ball well, and in many respects is going to come in as an underdog, which in this tournament, right, you get the fans on your side. If you build a 10-point lead, everybody starts cheering for you.
Yep. And, Coach, we have to ask, because you mentioned the people, and, these guys, obviously you have great players on your team, but they are still kids. They are still human beings. So dealing with the fact that they're isolated at times in their rooms, how do you keep, engaged, connected, keep guys, spirits up? How are you doing that? Because I know that's got to be a tall task in and of itself.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting year in that regard because, I would guess for the last decade, we've talked about this generation of kids as being too self-centered, right? They're all into their phones and their Netflix and then sometime around late spring last year, we told everybody to shut themselves out from the rest of the world and to isolate and to not socialize. And we're 10 months or so, 12 months or so into this thing, and our guys are kind of conditioned to live that way.
Yep.
In fact, they don't really socialize with each other that much outside of practice settings. And it's not that they don't like each other. It's just that they've been kind of told that it's not that cool to do anymore. And so I'm hoping that on the backside of this deal, we can get these young people back socializing with each other so that they can be kids and grow like I was able to do and just, be in those social settings a little bit more. Obviously, I understand why we did it.
Yep.
And the fact that we're playing in this tournament is a big part of why we wanted to do that. But I'm more concerned about trying to get out of this than I was going into it.
Love it.
My final question, Coach. One of the themes of this NCAA tournament for us media types is all of the former players who are now coaches. Obviously, Patrick Ewing wins the Big East tournament. That got a lot of play. Juwan Howard has his team as a 1 seed. So this kind of became a theme throughout the season. Now, I even saw ESPN.
Tony Bennett,
So, yeah, Tony
Virginia.
Bennett. Sure. There are a lot of guys that used to play. So I saw ESPN did an article where they ranked all of the coaches as players. Who they ranked them 1 through 68 in this tournament. They had you at 24, Coach. And I wanted to talk to you about this because also I saw Juwan Howard did an interview where he was asked about, are you the best player in college of all the coaches? If you had to play them all one-on-one, who are you winning? Juwan Howard was like, absolutely. He said, the only guy I'm even kind of worried about is maybe Jerry Stackhouse. Coach, you're still on the right side of 40. You are not a bad player yourself. What do Tate and I need to do to change this narrative that it's only
if you didn't
Juwan?
watch South Carolina basketball?
Yeah,
in the early
how
2000s.
do we help you? You could hoop yourself. I mean, this is ridiculous. You're getting no respect.
Well, I say this, being in the top third, I guess, of this discussion is pretty humbling to me, right? I grew up in New York City, so I was a Knicks fan. My dad was a Georgetown fan.
Nice.
If we're talking guys in their prime, I'm not sure I'm taking anybody over Patrick Ewing in this deal. But Juwan and Jerry are guys that I admired as well. I would compete really hard, but I'll be honest. I'm honest with myself. I've got a lot of self-awareness about who I am. I don't belong in the conversation at the top of that list. But I hope that if our teams play, that maybe I can match wits with them in this event and we can continue on.
That's a perfect answer. You don't need to play anymore.
Coach.
Yeah. Being older is just being wise and knowing that you don't have to play.
You know your limitations. Know who you are.
Let Cade play for you. Well, you're going to let your guys play for you tomorrow. Best of luck against Oregon State. Tate and I have been on the bandwagon all year. We're staying on,
Coach.
Which, if we're being honest.
Knocking on wood.
No, we're going to knock on wood because it did not work well for our alma maters.
Yeah.
But we're riding with you, Coach. So best of luck tomorrow. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks for having me, guys. I enjoyed it.
There you go, Tate. Mike Boynton.
Man, he's the best. I will say, after talking to Coach, I understand why Cade Cunningham had so much faith in him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And when that happened, we knew he was an assistant, to Coach Underwood, and we understood what was going on there. And
I wanted to ask him about potentially playing Illinois.
That is true. The protege and the mentor.
Yeah, but I could sense he was a guy. He was like, we got to deal with Oregon State, which brings us back to Bryce's question here.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on Oregon State advancing? If the question is advancing to this point, or is it advancing? Is he asking, can Oregon State advance against Oklahoma State? I don't know. We like Oklahoma State, obviously. We just talked to Mike Boynton. But
based on history so far in this tournament, that feels good for Oregon State.
I'll give you some stats.
I would take that.
I'll give you some stuff that's not just like my hunch or like I'm on this bandwagon or the wind's blowing this way, so I like this guy, whatever. Oregon State has gone on this run, 4 straight games of 3 Pac-12 games, and obviously beat Tennessee in the first round and handled Tennessee well. The common denominator in all 4 of these games is all 4 of their opponents were horrendous from the 3-point line.
Yes.
All 4 of them. This is something that Oregon State has, for whatever reason, I don't know how good your 3-point field goal percentage defense can be. Like that's a real like some people will say like they're really great at guarding the 3.
Yeah, they run guys off the line. Yeah.
Yeah, and I from playing basketball, I'm like I kind of just feel like you just are either good at D. You can't be like good at like 3-point D, but not 2-point D. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
either
yeah.
you're good
It's
at
all
D.
together.
I don't know.
Also, there's like a luck
Reasonable
factor
minds
at
can
times.
disagree, but that's how
The
I
only
see it.
team I know that lets teams shoot threes is North Carolina. They're like, yeah, that's a bad shot.
Well, Virginia
Take it.
does too. Like they pack it in and then.
But it's a little different. They close out. Carolina's like, you got it. They're like, good luck, Brad.
Carolina's
Take
like,
that shot.
Carolina says I could never make that, so there's no way you could.
Yeah, they're like, you're not making it number 34, whoever you are. And Brad's like, splash.
Caleb Love's looking at Roy like, how does he do that?
He's like, who's this guy?
He's like, because he practices, Caleb.
Like,
oh my God, we talked
scouted
about
him.
this.
We scouted him.
So that's sort of been a theme of
Yes.
Oregon State's wins. My fear with Oregon State going into this game is that Oklahoma State doesn't shoot a ton of threes. So Oklahoma State isn't going to, if they go cold from the 3-point line, they're not panicking. They're not like they can beat you in other ways. So that would be the fear. Also, Cade Cunningham's better than everybody else. But no, who am I to say like Oregon State's not going to win? They've been doubted every step of the way.
Yes.
Including the first game in the Pac-12 tournament. They went to overtime. People forget that. Like you've gotten enamored with the Oregon State run. You forget that it started in an overtime game. That if the overtime
and we have to be
goes
honest,
the other way against UCLA, they're not even here.
Oklahoma State did not look good in the first game. You know, against Liberty.
That's true.
I mean, there's not like they did not show us, you know, the full arsenal we think of who they will be in this tournament. Texas is a team that we just saw in the Big 12. The Big 12 Pac-12 rivalry was going on, but if this were to happen, this is the definitive nail in the yes, it's over.
It's done.
It's over.
We're popping.
Yes.
We're Pac-12 guys. We're popping bottles if the Pac-12.
We say we told you so. If that happens,
no matter what happens, we're on the Oregon State bandwagon, but also we're Pac-12. Or we're on the Oklahoma State bandwagon, but also we're Pac-12 guys.
Great question, Bryce.
OSU versus OSU. So we'll figure out who the
Orange
real
schools. Like it's too much.
We'll figure out who the real OSU is because the real OSU lost to ORU in the first round. So, all right, let's wrap this thing up. Shout-outs, closeouts, anything else we need to hit for the people before we get out of here?
Yeah, I mean, just looking forward toward tomorrow. I just want to say, just for our sake, I am looking forward to Mac McClung versus the Muss Bus.
Yep.
I think that is a game to keep an eye on. So just previewing that, I want to shout out those two guys. Mac McClung, first NCAA tournament win, obviously. Very excited about it. Love Mac, friend of the program. So I'll be watching that game.
If we're talking things to
look out
some
for.
storylines,
Yeah.
I mean, Jim Boeheim versus Bob Huggins, does that have your attention?
That has my attention. I will say this. I'm going to get ahead of this. I feel, and I told you this earlier, I feel a Bryce Drew moment coming from Buddy Boeheim. And I feel a Homer Drew, Jim Boeheim picking up Buddy Boeheim, and this being like an iconic March moment we see for a long time. So this is buzzer beater game right here for me. Buddy Boeheim hits the buzzer beater. It's a Bryce Drew type moment.
All he's ever wanted is his father to hug him on national television.
Exactly. And pick him up and say, you're the one.
You did it, my boy.
We made the Sweet 16. I see it, buddy.
I'm looking forward to Wisconsin-Baylor. I predict that Wisconsin and Oral Roberts will just go ice cold in these games.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll look at like,
Baylor's beating Wisconsin by 40. There's no
Brad
doubt
Davison's
about
going to dribble off his foot. Koenig hit a shot.
Someone's going to tweet at me that Baylor's 80 points better than North Carolina, and I'm just going to have to sit in
Max A. Smith is going to be 3 for 17.
Done.
We're just going to be like, how the hell did that happen?
Yeah.
I want to shout out Tanner Groves, Eastern Washington, the guy that looked like Bill Walton that everyone was, it feels like 3 years ago, but earlier today, everyone was going nuts about. Took Kansas to the brink.
This game,
had 35 points.
Yep.
Playing with his brother, very emotional. At the end of the game, it's cool. He is kind of a microcosm of what makes March Madness awesome. Is a guy you learn about that day, blows up, then he gets emotional and it means a lot to him, and you're like, ah, damn. All right. Anyway, how about Abilene Creighton? You just move on to the next thing.
This is their sister, I guess, or family member. The Groves family puts out the Jackie Moon Napoleon Dynamite of their brother or family member, and that's hilarious. They were great characters. That's what we're here for with March. I have a shout out, Mr. March. I want to shout out because I have to explain this for the people at home. If you've ever seen the movie The Santa Claus, you know how this goes. Santa, his suit is on the ground. Tim Allen walks outside, says, "What's this?" Puts on the robe because he's cold, and then he becomes Santa Claus. And we saw this in Mackey Arena. Mr. March, Tom Izzo comes in there, thinks, "It's all good. I'm Mr. March. You know what it is. It's March. I do this. I'm him." That's what he says as he walks into the building.
He said that to Gabe Brown as he was pulling out his shirt.
That's what he said to him. He said, "I'm him. What are you doing?"
Excuse me, Gabe. I'm him.
And anyways, after that loss, the crown was on the ground, on the court, and, Mick went over there, took it, put it on. He said, "I'm Mick March. I'm Mr. March." And that is why my bracket is not busted yet, because it wasn't about Michigan State. It was about Mr. March. And Mick Cronin is now Mr. March. And knock on wood, cross your fingers. Blue Bloods plus 1 point. We're going to get to 4 right there, because that's how many Blue Bloods we truly have. And Mick Cronin might make a run, folks. Mr. March.
If Mick Cronin's putting on Tom Izzo's suit, I bet it fits. I bet they probably wear the same thing.
Bet it fits.
I like it. I like it. Mick Cronin, Mr. March.
Mr. March. You did it.
You did it. Mixie Tournament. Kansas game, David McCormick got 22-9. Shout out to him. He's coming back from COVID, that whole deal, and that was pretty. I was impressed. Given the circumstances. So shout out to him. Shout out Cam Thomas. We didn't talk about LSU. Big win over St. Bonaventure. I expected the Bonnies to win. They did not, because Cam Thomas balled out. Shout out to him for that. I want to shout out Yesufu from Drake, who had 26 points tonight against USC. Just because we never did talk about his dunk against Wichita State, I jumped out of my chair. It takes a lot for me to care about stuff that much to actually jump out of my chair.
Yep.
I jumped out of my chair when he dunked on Wichita State. So
that's a good shout out.
Shout out to him. He had 26 tonight. I think that's it. Oh, shout out Daryl Morsell, who called me out on Twitter. Not me personally, but he quote tweeted someone who put together all the UConn versus Maryland picks. And then some Maryland guy was like, "It looks like everyone's doubting the Terps."
Not I.
Yeah, you weren't on the list because you weren't down to the Terps. It didn't fit the narrative. And so it was a list of everyone who picked UConn. And then Marcel quote tweets it and just says "experts" in quotes. And my name was on the list. And someone tagged me on it. I was like, "He's coming for your neck." So as I said, it's hater season. I take it as a compliment that we've risen to a point where
come at us. Shout out to Maryland for mucking it up. I love the Terps. Come back to the ACC. Play real basketball. Come back. God.
I want to trade Maryland for Louisville.
Let's do
it. I want Louisville in the Big Ten. You take Maryland.
You take Chris Mack. Yeah. Get him out of my face. Give me Maryland back to the ACC.
Finally, I think my last shout out is BYU for their preposterous NCAA. No one's gonna know. We don't have a visual. I don't understand. How I'm gonna explain this, but BYU is wearing these jerseys. And everyone has to put the NCAA logo patch on their jerseys.
Yes.
And I guess I'm encouraging people to go Google a picture. I don't know. This is stupid. This is bad. This is bad everything. I don't know why I'm bringing this up. But it just shocked me. So everyone is putting their, on one of the, what do you call this part? Your shoulder? Yeah, most people are putting their patch on the shoulder. BYU put it on the chest, kind of off. It was the most preposterous NCAA logo placement I have ever seen. Yeah. And they had the American flag on this side, and they didn't want to put it above or below the American flag for some reason. They probably felt like it'd be a political statement. Yeah.
So
they were just
you're going after the patcher of BYU.
Who is the patcher of BYU?
Who's patching BYU?
Get that guy on the line.
Patch them through to us, and then let's talk to him.
So just go look it up. Go watch highlights, and every BYU patch is it's bad. So I just wanted to shout that.
That is true. You can tell a lot about a team by their patches. And this is our final note of the night. Shout out to Josh Riley. The vibes of these late night Titus Tate post-tournament streams are the perfect cool down. We appreciate
that, Josh. Yeah, we're having fun here. We hope you guys are too. It's been a long 2 days. I mean, it's been 2 years since we've done this, so you forget. You forget how exhausting it is to sit on your ass all day and watch basketball. But boy, it gets to you. And the fun is we're only halfway done for the weekend. We still got 2 more days of this.
It's still the first round.
It's still
and we have no replacement teams. I just want to remind people of that. We have no replacement teams. What? Wait, what? That makes no sense. All right, I'm done.
That's it. That we'll be back here every single night. So if you, Josh, if you're enjoying this, join us. If there's NCAA tournament games on your television, you will find us on your YouTube or your Twitter or wherever else at CBB on Fox. We will be there. We will be doing this every single night. So please join us. And that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for listening. If you're listening on the podcast, Good luck to all the teams tomorrow, all of them. I hope you all play hard. We're playing for everybody.
Yes.
I don't know where I landed. I think I landed on West Coast. I'm cheering for the West Coast, but I'm also cheering for chaos, which would coincidentally be the West Coast. I think that is chaos. I think America has a meltdown if like the Pac-12 dominates this tournament.
If
we have like
UCLA
4
makes the
Pac-12
Final
teams.
Four,
the Bill Walton Final Four happens. That's a meltdown.
Yeah.
America has a meltdown, and we're happy about it. We don't care.
Shout out to Big Wave Billy. He picked 5 Pac-12 teams to be in the Final Four. Love him to death. We'll see you later. See you tomorrow.
See you guys.